Princess Rosalina, you're out of the movie.
What the fuck?
Imagine getting less screen time than a character not even in your franchise. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is here, and it feels like deja vu when it comes to the overall reception. I reviewed the first of Illumination's Mario movies back when it was released, and I still stand by my opinion on it not being a masterpiece, but still being a good fun time even after 3 years of it being released in theaters. It may have problems that hold it back, like pacing issues, not fully developed character moments, unfitting licensed music and voice acting, and of course Luigi getting sidelined. However, the movie is still a really fun time for anyone who's played a Mario game or just looking for a fun adventure film. I also really liked how they gave Mario a character arc of a guy who's willing to do anything to achieve his dreams and prove that he's more than what he looks like, while also giving him and Luigi an extremely wholesome brotherly relationship. I always knew it was going to get a sequel from day one because it is Mario after all, and I knew not to set my expectations too high and just anticipate a fun time at the movies with nothing much more than that. During the gap between the first and second Mario film, me and my friends have been predicting which characters will get their big screen debut. Then September 2025 came and the sequel's title was revealed to not be something along the lines of Super Mario 2. Rather, it was Super Mario Galaxy, aka the Mario game that is considered by many to be one of, if not the best of them all, and for all the right reasons. The concept of space is utilized to its fullest potential in this game, as it takes Mario and does something new with his formula. The gameplay of running around planets is awesome, the visuals still hold up near perfectly after almost 2 decades later, the cinematic scope of the level design is truly unlike any other Mario game and most other platformers in my opinion. It's all accompanied by one of the rare instances where a Mario game actually has a story and cutscenes worth giving a damn outside of the RPGs. It may not be anything near as deep as a game's story like The Last of Us or God of War, but it still does a great job in adding to this game's cinematic presentation, and it even pulls some solid emotional punches with its story and its new characters, Princess Rosalina and the Lumas with their backstories, overall relationship, and life cycle. It even has a sequel that is just more of the first game in terms of gameplay, but lacks a nice story. However, Yoshi, the new power-ups, and incredible level design more than make up for its extremely minor shortcomings. However, when it comes to adapting this game into an Illumination film, fans were understandably skeptical for good reasons. 1. This is the same studio that made a surface level 7 out of 10 first movie 3 years ago, so them trying to adapt one of the games with rare emotional moments was very concerning considering the studio's overall piss-poor track record. Every time a new trailer or clip would be shown off, minus the 2026 Mario Day trailer, it became more evident that this was not really going to be a Galaxy movie as the title implied, rather just a general sequel to the Super Mario Bros. Movie with no specific game being adapted. After finally watching the film for myself, yeah, they really should have just called this Super Mario 2 instead of labeling it as Galaxy, because when it comes to being an adaptation of that game, this movie is pretty disappointing, but as a general sequel to the first Mario movie, it's pretty much a similar level of quality as the first movie. The plot is simple. Mario and Luigi, played by Chris Pratt and Charlie Day respectively, meet a dinosaur named Yoshi, played by Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, on the day of the birthday for Princess Peach, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. During that same night, they get a stress signal from a star called Luma telling our heroes about their mother, Princess Rosalina, played by Brie Larson, who is kidnapped by Bowser Jr., played by Benny Safdie, who is on a rampage to free his father from imprisonment and work with him to conquer the universe. With this knowledge in mind, the gang sets off into space to save Rosalina and thwart Bowser Jr.'s plans. I'm going to begin by talking about the major new characters introduced in this film, starting with Yoshi, who is probably the biggest selling point of this film. And yes, I bought this little action figure and the popcorn bucket. What of it? Donald Glover himself does a fantastic job in voicing this character and really makes him sound adorable and charming, especially with the fact that he doesn't talk, which could be for the best considering the last time that happened.
Oh, Cucumba! Mama Fire Plant lives on the other side of the river, and I'm scared of water!
His inclusion to the main group and even seeing him take part in combat during the action scenes was really delightful to watch. I even really liked Benny Safdie as Bowser Jr. as he does a really great job making him sound so determined to free and impress his father by whatever means necessary. However, the one I enjoyed way more than I thought I would, and I really think they should not have spoiled this in the marketing, was Glenn Powell as Fox McCloud, a character who I thought was unnecessary at first, considering how much stuff was already looking to be going on in this movie, but then I grew to appreciate it due to just how much of a badass he is, and his comedic moments as well as his relationships with the main characters really landed. I can understand people thinking otherwise about his inclusion in the film, but considering the current state of the Star Fox series, I think representing him in a movie that everyone is going to see because it's labeled Mario was a genius way to put him back into the spotlight. The visuals and music are of course another home run factor, as they are just as good, if not better, than the last movie, and you can tell these people put every amount of love and care into every detail. I also thought the pacing in the first half of the film was pretty decent, with how nice the events flow together and how we get to spend a decent amount of time with each important setup. I also like some of the character dynamics here. Mario has a hilarious arc where he struggles to confess his true feelings for Princess Peach, and Luigi, Yoshi, and Toad are just constantly teasing him and tell him to just go for it. And I will never buy the false propaganda that they are quote-unquote just friends. Bowser even has some fun dynamics with the Mario brothers and Yoshi before he eventually reunites with his son, which creates many wholesome father and son moments between them that were easily the highlights of this film for me. Wait a minute, there's one character you haven't given your thoughts on yet, said me talking to myself. Yes. It is time to talk about that character and how they tie into this movie's biggest wound, Rosalina, aka the character whose debut game was Super Mario Galaxy, and you know what they decide to do with her? Take her out of 80% of the damn thing. I'm not joking when I say Fox McCloud, a character who isn't even from Mario, has more screen time than her, and I really wish I was just bluffing. I am not joking when I say Rosalina is in the movie for the opening scene and the climax from what I remember. It is such a shame because not only does Brie Larson give her a great voice, but she is such a great character in her scenes with how much of a badass she is, how she cares for the Lumas, and her relationship with another character are all very endearing. But because of how she gets sidelined much harder than Luigi was in the last movie, it left all those factors to feel severely underdeveloped and underwhelming. For an adaptation of Super Mario Galaxy, they really do not do this character justice, or many other elements from the game for that matter. There's only a few locations from Galaxy, a few power-ups, and even some characters like Mega Leg and the Honey Queen barely get screen time. They even made such a big deal about Honey Queen being in the film in the direct, yet she barely got even 1 minute of screen time. I do like how they brought Wart back as a mob boss for this casino planet after not being in any Mario media since Mario 2 and its remakes, but that scene adds so little to the movie's story that I felt like they honestly should have just saved this for a future entry and replaced it with a scene containing an actual boss or location from Galaxy like Dino Piranha or Bouldergeist. That's the biggest problem with this movie. So many of the references and filler could have been replaced with actual Galaxy material or needed depth on the character dynamics. Why did we need the whole Baby Bros / Odyssey T-Rex and Wart Casino scenes, or just so much of this other filler if they added nothing to the actual plot and we could have gotten something that expands on Rosalina's character, or an actual location from Galaxy like Gussie Garden or Good Egg or Freeze Flame or Battle Rock or Ghostly Galaxy or Toy Time Galaxy, or even more like on the big screen. This movie sets up so many different plots in a way where while it all still is a fun movie, it ends up feeling like a mess as a whole, and not much of the character development or major plot points feel satisfying by the end. And it sucks too because this movie actually starts at a decent pace, and I was thinking I'd pretty much enjoy this film as much as the first one, but then the second half just feels like it wants to add so much when there is already enough, making it all feel like it doesn't even know what it wants to set settle on at that point. While I had a good time overall and I love that fans are eating this movie up, I can't help but feel a little disappointment. And I went into this just expecting a 7 out of 10 fun film, but I still even felt left down by that, because not only did we not get a good Galaxy adaptation, but the biggest issue with the first movie, that being the too fast of pacing, feels even worse, and I'm hoping that these aren't the direction these movies will go down in the future. Obviously there's going to be more, and I'm going to see them all day one and cheer at all the hype moments and action sequences, but I really hope Nintendo at least takes the criticism to heart when it comes to writing the next one. But hey, at the end of the day, this is still better than 75% of Illumination's catalog, not like that's saying much. And if you just accept this as a general Mario movie and not a Galaxy adaptation at all, you'll definitely like this more than me. I did have a fun time with it and I would watch it again, but I really want them to step up their game for the next one, and I'm hoping that it doesn't suffer the Despicable Me curse, where they make one good movie and realize they don't even have to try to put effort into the script because they know kids and families will gobble it up regardless, and I'm hoping that's not the case, but hey, we'll just have to wait and see. 6 out of 10. Anyways, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe for more detailed reviews and analysis on movies, TV, gaming, and more. And remember to keep calm and let life carry you on.